I have no idea if I have audio. So if I do not have audio, and it's perfect because it's windy, let's see, microphone, what does that do? Brightness, oh shit. Well, that wasn't what I meant to touch. Of course it's gonna rain now. How awesome is that? Let's see. I may have been restricted from live streaming. Oh, you can hear me? Perfect. How's my audio right now? Because I did a quick live stream yesterday, and blah, flies, and nobody. There weren't even likes, no trolls, nothing. And I was like, that's weird. And then I reached out to KP Heathen, who's one of the mods. He had reached out to me for something article, and I texted him back. I'm like, dude, go to my video. Yeah, I got wind in the background. It's not that bad though, right? Like you can hear me pretty reasonably clearly. Oh, come on, man. So I want to credit, first of all, unless you have a fan running. Okay. Is that better now? Okay. And it is getting windy. You see the sky behind me? It was blue about when I started setting everything up. And then, oh wow, I can't see anything. Okay, let's leave the glasses on today. Oh, it's raining. How fun is that? So, thank you, Neil. So, I spoke to one of the silver and bullion stores. He's actually a very good numismatic guy here in Texas. And the big place in Houston likes to come out here to interview him. And he and I run into each other at the gun shows and the county fairs and whatnot, like all the time. He's in our circle. And I spoke to him, and he has a custom jewelry maker who takes excess silver and makes custom jewelry. Or like silver, instead of a silver ignat, like a little bar, he can do in the shape of Texas, and he stamps it, 0.999, 3 ounces, etc. So, oh, you know what's making the noise? The little green thing I have behind me is going because the wind is coming. So he agreed we're going to do a panel video at his silver shop, and he has like signed Scarface videos with Al Pacino's signature. We're going to do a panel with him, his jewelry guy. He has a guy who does old coins and antique relics, and he has a friend who does old firearms. And we're going to have the panel, but it'll be a live panel, like all 5 of us in the room. So you'll keep an eye out for a posting in the community page. I'm going to solicit questions. I know Neil's going to love this. Neil, these guys are right up your alley, man. They go to every show. They sell silver, gold, copper, small bits of platinum, and the other minerals. But he's done this. He left the Navy like 20 years ago, and then he worked in the oil and gas industry. And then he's like, I really like collecting coins. I'm going to start an entire business. So, but this is stuff for us to know, and he's one of those people who can talk to its place in the stock market, how you can use it as an investment, as a wealth transfer. Obviously, you can't eat precious metal, but if you go back, look, our Lord and Savior paid for his inn and his wine with silver. So I would stand that it will be relevant in the future in some way, shape, or form. So, and then we can take some questions, have a Q&A. But we were really excited about it. His jewelry guy has a very small channel. He's got like 100 subs. I'm going to try and share him out later because I can't spell his last name right for the life of me. But if you want to go, let him know I sent you guys and just say hi. But I'm going to try and do some more of that. I've reached out to Shadow Systems who do custom 9mm. They're basically Glock clones, but at a whole new level. And they were trying to figure out logistics because they're over in Dallas. So they're about 5 hours from me. Go over there and have them do a panel with me live, like in person, and talk about, carry laws, firearms, stuff like that. I think as our community grows and more people, especially what happened to poor freaking Charlie Kirk, jeez, that poor guy. Anyway, with what's happened, I think a lot of people are upset, and that adds instability. And that's a variable we can't, like we can try to forecast stock markets based on numbers and values and kind of look, so a technical, there's technical and there's, how do they break it down? There are two financial analysis types. There's a technical one, and then there's a pattern one. You heard the thunder back there? And the historical one, you look at trends and say, okay, every 40 years, this part of the market takes a dump, so the next dump is at this time. Technical, they look at the companies involved and say, this one has a bad debt ratio, this one's making more money than they're selling, they're playing with their numbers, and so they look at the current to predict the future, the other one looks at the past to predict the future. And as we as a community start to grow, the one variable that's hard to predict is the behavior of people when something like this happens. And can you guys still hear me? Because I know we got background wind and all that fun stuff. Oops. Hold on, I'm trying to see. Okay, for some reason it kicked me off the live chat. So, okay, good deal. Thank you, thank you. So, for those of you who have not heard, Erica Kirks, that's Charlie Kirk's wife, her statement today was, it almost had me in tears, much less my wife. That is the bravest person. I mean, whether you agreed or disagreed with his policies, what happened this week was just ugly. And hey, Coffee, what's going on? And Teresa, thank you, by the way, for jumping in there the other day with all the trolls. Farmer, hello, hello. Hold on, I lost, sorry, I'm covering the camera with my big thumb. So it's hard to predict how people will act. I think what happened this week exposed the mentality of a certain group in our society. And even those who disagreed with Mr. Kirk's opinions, they agree that this was not right. This was very wrong. I promise you, the guy, what's his name, George Floyd, he died during an arrest, and it's questionable if the cop did the right thing, wrong thing, whatever. I'm not going to get into that. But this was the man who had a criminal history. He passed away in the course of the fight and the commotion at that time, and it spawned, almost a year, 6 months of rioting. And then you have a guy who got shot. And there have been no riots. There have been prayer vigils at the universities. There have been speeches. Coffee, tell me that was not the bravest statement from a widow. When she said, this widow's tears and cries will echo through history. Yeah, he was. Did he deserve what happened? Probably not. It's just a stupid guy. But for that, he was committing a crime. He got arrested. Things went sideways. He lost his life. People burned down cities. This guy was exercising the most precious right we have, the right to disagree and debate. And it's hard to predict what will come of that. Since Charlie was shot, there have been 3 college shootings, including an active shooter at the Naval Academy in Annapolis. I don't know if you guys knew this. Unfortunately, not only do the naval security take care of that, but the Marines are also part of the Guard, and they also have civilian police. So the security was on this guy so fast. Yes, so Neil, it was a guy who had been in the Navy, got discharged for whatever reason, and it wasn't honorable, and it wasn't like a general, like, oh, you got hurt, or you got disqualified, your eyes aren't good, whatever, be free. He got released, and I suspect it was a dishonorable, like, get the hell out. He came back dressed as security, and was knocking on doors and saying, everyone get out, you have to get out of the building, there's a gas leak. He went downstairs and then started shooting at the cadets. But because he was acting so weird, one of the cadets called security and went, hey, there's a guy here. And they're like, that's not right. Don't go outside. Lock yourself in your room. So check it out. Yes, the Naval Academy. There was a university. There have been 2 university active shootings. And I don't know the background on all of them. But this is the variable, right? When something like this happens, it changes the equation. Because now we could sit there and predict, oh, you know, historical patterns, you look back. Prepper now is great at this. You know, he's a historian by education, and he's like, well, you know, this happened 100 years ago, and every 100 years something happens. So thank you, Hudson. Thank you. And again, I want to reiterate, the Livingston man, I think it was Livingston, right, Hudson, who threw this this microphone out there. And it was quite phenomenal. So I'm going to do a quick review. I'll do a separate video of the mic. But I got rain. Hudson, I got rain. I've got wind. I've got somebody's dog barking. And the last time I was out here with my headsets, like all you all heard were, and this has turned out really well. The microphone's a little sideways. Yes, the one you guys sent in the text chain, I went and looked, and I'm like, you know, I've been fighting with my microphones. I'm going to try it. DJI makes good stuff. I have one of their gimbals, and it's the old one. I said, I'll give it a try, see what it's like, and it's great. It does connect to the cell phones, too, as well as the cell phones, iPads. I think the iPad. I haven't tried it on my MacBook, but anyway, that was terrible. But people are big variable. And I don't know if the school and the college shootings have had anything to do with the Charlie Kirk incident, or if it's just other stupid and crazy people. So that's something, as our community grows, I want to start doing the panel, not just the way the 4 horsemen do, because we're in 4 different places. And Mike, Hudson Valley, if you get a chance, so I was saying earlier in the video, there's a numismatic and silver and coin guy, and he's well known in Texas. And he's the big place in Houston has come out here to do videos in his store. And he and I run into each other at the gun shows and the farmers markets like all the time. Like I buy stuff from him quite a bit. Oh, did you? Teresa, if you can find Mike's post and put it in the chat, or one of the mods, that would be great. But he has a custom jewelry guy he takes silver bullion and turns it into jewelry. And then he has a guy who does antique stuff. Like this other guy has a poster, the original Scarface poster in a frame signed by Pacino, right? Which has, you know, cultural value, if you will. And I'm hoping to get all 3 of these or 4 of these guys on an in-person panel. So keep an eye out. I'm going to have solicit questions, and we're going to do it in his store, and then we're going to do a tour of all his goods, and you know, he can talk about different types of silver and gold and how it can fit into your investments, to your you know, how you prep, because think about it, we're all thinking the same thing at some level, whether we focus on currency or we focus on food or pews or whatever. But again, with people acting out the way they are, and I'm afraid this is just the beginning. I hope I'm wrong. I hope everyone just realizes how ugly that was and they just stop. But that would be too hopeful. I want to be able to bring additional value. And if all the YouTubers, we can start collaborating and going places. And I do that a little on my travel, that watch list I have for travel and urban exploration and historical places. If we can start showing the community more of the real world, like what's out there, like, hey, look at this old, if cats were currency, you'd be set awesome. Look at this old fortress. Look at this old firearm. Look at this antique tank. We can start adding value and educating people. Humans, the way people act is a big wild card, right? We can test historical patterns. We can do patterns of the, finance markets, wars, culture, immigration, and you can look back in history. You can predict the future. Human behavior, sudden shifts, make it very hard to do that. And like this last week would have been one of those shift moments in America. Right now, from what I saw online, there is a absolute protest, a huge one, about 500,000 in London. The cops tried to break it up, and the farmers blocked the cops with the tractors, so the little armored vehicles couldn't get there. And the farmers threatened to push the armored vehicles off the road with the bulldozers and tractors. They then did a vigil for Charlie, which ironically included some more moderate, like modern Muslim folks. One imam who is very pro-West. He believes Islam should be contributing to the West as opposed to pulling them into the past. And he's been threatened. Iran wants to kill this poor guy too. And he was out there, and then they got into a fight, and then a big brawl broke out. Ireland, they just burned down a mosque in Scotland. Ireland just burned down an immigrant hotel. So it's getting very nasty in the UK and Ireland. Italy just like elected a right-wing premier, so and Italy's doing its own thing. It could be, Jesus. It could be. But their culture, the people aren't being protected is the problem, right? People are being assaulted, raped, murdered, whatever, ugliness, and it's they're upset because the people who are supposed to protect them are not doing so. And it could be, well, to be fair, Scotland is one culture, and when you have socialism and everyone is the same culture and religion for the most part, it makes more sense than a place like America where you have so many people from so many places, so many countries and cultures that socialism would piss everyone off. I don't know if that the way I explained it made sense, but even so, yeah, it could be. I don't know what's going on there, but people are not happy. What's his name? Who's the MMA fighter? The guy who always talks shit and has the tattoos. How'd I see his face? McGregor. So McGregor has announced that he's running for the president of Ireland. And he's already named his cabinet, which is a bunch of very experienced politicians and military people. The new candidate for mayor of London is a former paratrooper, an SAS guy, who's friends with Prince, who's the younger of the princes, the one that ran himself off because he felt the family was corrupt. Prince Charles is the king. Well, now he's King Charles. Is it Harry, the one who married Meghan Markle? That he's in Canada or something now. So anyway, he's friends with Harry. And okay, thank you, Teresa. So he wants to return England to what it was, which was diverse, with one set of rules and one set of laws for everybody, and everyone had to obey those laws, regardless of where you came from, or you go home. And he's doing really well in the polls. And his personal security team are all ex-SAS and a couple of Army Rangers from our side of the world who are all friends of his. So he's got like badass security. And yeah, it's and Neil's a Scot, so there you go. It'll be interesting, and it's hard to predict what happens there. So folks, watch the news, pay attention. I'm going to try and do these panels. I'm going to try and do the live interviews. Like I said, I reached out to Shadow Systems here in Texas, the custom gun makers. MIRA Safety is down in Austin. I reached out to them. I'm going to see if they want to set up maybe a lot. If not on StreamYard, I'll drive there on a weekend, meet them over a beer, and we can, hell, we'll do an interview in a, beer hall live, and that'll work too, and let's start talking to the people who make our equipment. They make some of the stuff that's important to us so we can understand what they're doing. We need to, in business, you have a supply chain, right? So if you sell, like you're Walmart, right? But behind you is the wholesaler. Behind the wholesaler is the manufacturer. Under him is the farmer and the plastic manufacturer and the whatever. And then it keeps going down, right? This whole supply chain. We as a preparedness community, we kind of are at the very end, right? We look at Amazon and what's available in the stores, and we try to make our own too. But if we can start going down, oh, awesome, thank you, Hudson. We can start understanding down the food chain who else we're engaging with. Like, for instance, who does the shipping for a nutrient survival? Or Readywise or any of those food. And those are two great brands. And who does the shipping for them? Man, I'd love to get a trucking company guy online. Tell us about trucking. When COVID hit, what happened? If terrorists attack, what would happen? What would you guys do to get food to the populace, right? Because you guys should shut us down. Because then we know, wow, if that happens, these guys are going to be screwed for about a week. We need to be prepared for that. And then you start learning how all the pieces fit together. I think as a community, we should be doing a little more of that. And I know the horsemen are always up for that. By the way, Hudson Valley, the questions for not for the 30th, because we're taking a couple of weeks so everyone can catch up on other stuff. We're going to go down a rabbit hole. Hopefully I don't get kicked off the internet, but there are a couple of things I want to throw out there. And I won't give away the questions because it makes them more fun, but we need to understand a little more and not just look at the prepping, and again, the whole like defensive preparedness. And thank you, Mike, for getting a couple of copies. One of the things I talk about is understanding your logistics, your supply chain. Yes, farmer, for instance, you live in New York City, right? You're at the mercy of the store's key food or whatever is there. Here in West Texas, the meat markets are affiliated with the ranches. I went to the big farmers market today, and there were ranches had their own tent, and they had coolers. And you could just go and say, hey, I want to buy. But like when I get meat out here, it's one step removed from the ranch. So you have ranch, HEB, ranch, meat market, ranch, whoever, and then table, right? The shorter the supply chain, the less risk we have. We're now getting feed from Mexico, Louisiana, Oklahoma, and I think New Mexico. So now the beef suppliers are shortening their supply chain. Hey, Pilgrim, what's going on? Shortening their supply chain because they realize after COVID how fragile it is. And the more we do that as a community and the more we understand how the pieces fit, the better informed we are, the better off we're going to be able to maneuver. And man, the sky got dark back here. Oh, and there's a big ass spider up there. Yeah, I'm going to have to like kick him out or something. So apparently we have large desert camo tarantulas in this part of Texas. I thought I'd gotten rid of all of them between me and my cat. And I hate to kill them because they're amazingly beneficial. Yes. Right, farmer, that's the other thing. Or there's a trade-off. If the price is comparable, you're going to get way better quality. You get you get ranch meat that's maybe one or two steps removed here in Texas versus what shows up in Chicago. Oh, there's no comparison. Like the meat, I've actually taken store meat. I did this the other day, and like the local HEB sources regionally, right? Our big food chain in Texas. And I took the HEB steak and like a Walmart off the shelf, wherever the hell it was from steak, and just raw out of the package. It was so different. And then I cooked them, and the Walmart stuff looked anemic. It really looked sad. So the more we learn about this, the more we grow with this stuff, and understand how things come together, it's going to make such a difference. At least we'll know if we hear something in the news like, oh, well, trucking for cattle has taken a whatever hit. You're immediately going to understand, okay, that means my meat's going to go up, which means there'll be a run on the store in about 3 days when everyone else realizes this and CNN says something. So I need to check what I have and top off if I need. And you do it quietly. You don't have to be scary about it because we should already have a bit of an inventory. So then when something happens, it's top off time, not oh shit time. So anyway, that's what I'm hoping to do. Again, the Four Horsemen, we're going to take a break till the 30th. Oh, God, it's Pilgrim, it's so bad. And so I went to El Paso, and we went to a farmer's market out there. So we get stuff from Mexico, obviously, from Texas, from New Mexico, from Arizona, from Oklahoma, from Louisiana. And the stuff that was there, like even the plants, somebody was selling like started little zucchini plants, half beef Kent stand store bought. September 2nd, steers was. Oh wow, see, and that's another thing. And hey, Gypsy, and again, we try to educate. Now, in my sector, what I'm going to try and do, I have friends who are in the solar and friends who are in the wind farm. I work more in the classic oil and gas stuff. I'm going to try and go out to these locations, and a lot of my closer friends know I have a channel. Go out there and go to some of the rigs and the wells and the pump jacks and kind of do like a 101. Like, this is how you get gas in your car. This is how solar actually works and how it doesn't work, and risks, right? I'm a fan. I'm an energy guy, right? So all energy is good unless you're destroying something more important than the energy, right? And we need to understand, like, how do they fit together, right? Solar's great until you have clouds and darkness for 6 months, right? That doesn't give you enough load. Wind is great unless the windmills freeze or you get no wind, right? Oil and gas is great, but you make holes in the ground, and there's pollution involved with that, even though we've gotten way better at that. So each has a pro and a con, and understanding what's available to you, how you can use it in your own preparedness. Again, every bit of information gives you knowledge that you can execute on. You can step back and go, I didn't know that worked like that. And I think one of the worst things we have in some of the creators in particular is they act like they know everything. And in my mind, as an engineer, and I know a shit ton of stuff, I'm a problem solver. That's what I'm professionally trained to do, if you think about it. Oh, that's not working right. Engineer. Right? Half the time I go into stuff and they're like, yeah, look at this, look at what's happened here. Hey, independent. And I go into this project and I look at all the information. I'm like, how the hell did this happen? Like, that doesn't even you just violated some natural law and shit. And you got like a geologist is like, that shouldn't have happened, and everyone's all screwed up. So then we start breaking down what was the problem, and that problem solving, troubleshooting mentality helps me learn new stuff, which I try to share with you guys. And as a community, we should all be thinking like that. Okay, if they cut off X product, how do I pivot? Hey, Michelle, how do I do something different? So I just want to, throw that out there. And I know Mike, Livingston and Mike have some great stuff going on, but I'll let them announce it when they're ready. Mike has been crazy busy. Hudson and Livingston, man, God, those guys have been working a lot. I know Trent, Vision Preparedness, he's been working a lot on his house. And of course, he's got, his family and all that. So yeah, life, we got so hectic the last month that last week, we were texting and I'm like, I got to work on a contract, and someone else was like, yeah, I gotta drive to college to help whoever, and we're like, why don't we just take a couple of weeks off? Let's catch up and let's jump back into it. That way we're not like, our minds are in what we're doing. Hey, Canadian. So before I end this one, I want to do the review, and again, I want to thank Livingston, man, for pointing out this sale. The DJI stuff is great. So What it is, and I'll put a link in the description, but it is a DJI mini microphone. And so what it comes with is, it comes in this little bag. You get a box. I'm full. I had the grandkids and kids and grandkids did a barbecue. I'm stuffed. That's not a bad thing. We went to, they finally opened a Rudy's barbecue by us, so we ate and stuffed our face. We have banana pudding in the fridge because we took that home, and I found Buffalo Trace bourbon, and so that is actually a clean steel round ball, and the cup has that freezer gel in it. And yes, they do. Same company, Pilgrim. I put the whole thing in the freezer, and it freezes the gel. This is like the gel you find in the little packs you put in your cooler. And then the steel ball, obviously, the steel just gets cold, and it serves as ice, but it doesn't melt, so it doesn't dilute my bourbon. So, and Buffalo Trace is good bourbon. So, anyway, in the bag, you get this little microphone, and it has the little fuzzy on it. I'm not going to take the fuzzy off now. It's really just a square. It connects with Bluetooth to your DJI, if you have that little camera on a stick, the wand, the Osmo. But it also has a clip on the back, so you can clip it. I don't know if you guys can see it. It has a little clip back here. But get this, it has this, freaking hell, it has this magnet as well. So you can actually use the magnet to connect it to something. You could, oops. I think I just turned it off like a ding dong. Hang on. Oh shit. Can you guys hear me right now? I think I grabbed the wrong button and turned it off. Okay, so mental note, don't grab the side button because it turns it off. Okay, so maybe I didn't. Anyway, it charges on the bottom. So it has a magnet, so you can do the magnet. You can put it on the wall or somewhere around you. I guess you can, if you have metal frames, you could on your glasses, but then you have this fuzzy thing on your head. I put the little fuzz here to protect from rain, and as you can see, it's raining behind me. It's blowing really hard, and you guys can still hear me, so that's very good. The phone picked it up. Okay, let's see if we can put the mic back on. I may have killed it. All right, well, I'm microphone impaired. That was my own fault. Anywho, so it has the clip. And, oh, it's on now? Oh, that's wild. Can you guys hear me? Hello. Okay, it's off. Okay, and I can't see if it's on or off. So, anywho. So besides the microphone, it comes with another fuzzy for the top of the mic, and that's meant to reduce the sound of wind and rain in the background. I had it for a minute, yeah, I know. Comes with a charging cable. This is just classic USB. This is the USB, the round one, not the USB A or C, the new one. Oh no, that is USB-C, sorry. So it's USB on one side and USB-C on the other. And then I don't know if this thing's even on anymore. I think I screwed up there. See, and this is why I had technical tests. And then it has a little charging station, which is kind of adorable looking. It has like this little thing. So you can hear the rain now though, huh? Oops. And then the little guy, he sits in there and you plug it in and he charges. But that's it. Now this one we caught on sale, Livingston man. Well, we really needed the rain here. Can you hear me now? Did I turn it back on? I think I did. So, oh, awesome. All right, let me try to put it on and not hit the power button. And now if it's raining, that means, and there was a bit of thunder, I'm sure you heard that. I'm pretty confident Luna is under the couch right now. Yeah, no, don't touch the button. But anyway, this one was 30. No, I got this for less. Let me see how much. Oh, I don't have Amazon on this other phone. Um, it was 39 when Livingston saw it. I think I got it for a few bucks less. Um, but if you're a creator, or even if you if you want to make a video for family or something, you can use this little microphone. So it's Bluetooth, and it also works for the Osmo, and there are a couple of other things. So you can use it on your phones, your tablet. I haven't tried it on my MacBook yet, but did you hear the thunder? The only problem here, and I go back to the geology. We had rain like this, but it lasted like 4 days, and it was really heavy. And then 2 days later, they had the flooding southeast of us, because all our rain, and then the storm went to Dallas and rained on them. All that runoff came from the north and from the west and hit where the floods happened at the same time as they were getting rain. And everything just, and that's why we had so many fatalities, was the water came up so fast from so many directions, it had nowhere to go. So understanding your area is super important. Because in Houston, it's bayou, really. It's country, it used to be farm country. The sky is literally falling, yeah. Well, the water is falling from the sky. If the sky was falling, it would be really bad. But, down in Houston, you get 2-3 inches of rain, you get some puddles, it's gone in 30 minutes. Out here, you get 2-3 inches of rain. The ground is really hard, like it is in New Mexico. And Arizona has nowhere to go. It doesn't really absorb very well. So what it does, it runs downhill. And then all of a sudden, streets get flooded, and you get this hot mess. So, hey, conserve. So anyway, folks, yeah, that's it. That's the baby product review. Again, I want to thank Livingston, man, for tipping everyone off. So go see if you can find it. So Pilgrim, where were we at? Hey, Neil, when I went to the gun show and I saw the silver and gold guy, I think the spot was over 40, if I saw his sign right. Oops, hold on, I hit the wrong thing. That is notorious for bad flash flood. Yes, Moonsprout, it absolutely is. So, yeah, which means like Pecos is probably flooded right now. 42.9. Okay, so it was over 42. So, yeah, I had to give CBD pills to Luna because she freaks out. She does not like rain. She does not do well with it. When we redid the yard, it's better, but she will panic. So she's probably hyperventilating somewhere behind the couch right now. Bentley and Stormy, on the other hand, will come running out here like two lunatics and bark at the sky dog. Like, they'll have thunder and they bark back at it. Because I guess they think the sky dog barked at them, so they bark back at the sky dog. So Luna doesn't like the sky dog. Luna will go and hide behind the hide behind the couch and then hyperventilate and shed. But in any case, folks, look, hopefully I can get some of this stuff sorted out. I got a lot at work. Like I said, all 4 horsemen, we had to take a break. Had it that Ohio Valley Prepper had it that last week. That wouldn't surprise me. Oops, yeah, I just kicked my tripod. So Vegas, when I've gone to Vegas, I don't really gamble. I mean, it's fun. You sit there, put coins, you hit the thing, the pig or the dragon does something, and then, whatever. I get free drinks, I go away drunk, and I'm happy. Every time we go, we're like, okay, here's $200, you take 100, I take 100. I get about 40 bucks through and get annoyed. So I give my money to my wife, I go to the bar, and she watches TikToks on the different machines in the casinos, and she'll come to me after and say, did you know if you play like, I don't know, Golden Panda, and then the Golden Panda game, when the panda, scratches his butt, the buffalo comes out, and when the buffalo comes out and then he farts or something, and then, the treasure chest opens, and then if you do a 3 times bet, you increase your wins by 45%. And I'm like, I don't understand what the hell that sounds like a hallucination. Like you ate peyote and you saw farting buffaloes and shit. And she's like, that's not what I said. The buffalo runs across the screen. And I shit you not, we went twice in a row, and little miss, I can research weird shit, has won back our airfare both times. And we limit ourselves to $200 gambling, because really we want to spend money eating and going to the museums and seeing cool shit. We did not do the Tesla tunnel. I want to do that. She did, well, it worked, Moonsprout. She won $2,000 the first time we were there, and she's like, what do? I say, cash it out. You have your gambling money in your right pocket. Put the little receipt thing in your left. You don't touch the left pocket. When the right's out, I'll give you mine, and that's it. Oh, that's a great system, because then in her mind, left pocket is off limits. Right pocket is the gambling money. Because what they do, they keep your money in the machine, and if you don't get your little receipt thing, you just keep pushing buttons and you lose it all. And then we repeated it, same methodology. We hit a different machine. And by the way, the Venetian will do, if you get there during the week, they do free classes on craps, blackjack, and poker. You have to show up at a certain time in the morning, like when no one's there, right? It's all like the drunks are all like on their chairs, and everyone else is gone because they're not crazy people. And you go in like 8, 9 in the morning. So, you get a mimosa or something, you get a little sandwich, you come down, and they do a free, class, and you just get to sit there. So Moonsprout, we never went, and we went in 22 for the first time, because we had no kids, right? So we're like, oh, I was still shut down from Vegas. I was 21, and I was doing some paperwork for work. I had to just come in from the field. And I was like, oh, let's go visit my brother in Louisiana. And I was looking at airfares. It said Vegas, $89. So I'm like, okay. So I went, and I was like, oh, that's not a bad airfare. And then I went at the casino. I looked up the casinos, and the Venetian's pretty bougie, and it was like $100 a night. And I did the math in my head, and I yelled down the hall, hey, babe, you want to go to Vegas? Okay. So both took days off the next week, and we were gone. I bought the tickets right there, and we liked it so much we went back. We went back with our kids, and our kids got way drunk, and they're adults, by the way, like uber drunk. My daughter said she thought she broke her new sister-in-law. It was like at 11 o'clock at night, because my wife and I got up early. We walked the strip when all the drunks had passed out already, and it was just normal people. Then we went to this breakfast place. We went to the mob museum. We saw all these sights, and we're like, oh, we're tired. And then the kids woke up. We scheduled a lunch, so we met there, and then we hung out for a few hours, and then we spread out. Thank you, Neil. We spread out, and then we got back together for dinner. And then the young couples, it was about, we went out, had some drinks, watched a show. And then like 11 at night, I'm like, yeah, I'm done. I want to go watch the jazz band downstairs. I don't want to walk around and be, get pie-eyed all night. And the young, they're all in their 20s. They're like, we're going to go get drunk. I'm like, all right, go have fun. So they took their new wives and husbands, and off they went. And yeah, and they survived. So, and it was good, because my oldest and my youngest always fought as kids, like all the time. I pulled one off the other constantly. And it wasn't always the older picking on the younger. Like the older sister beat up the younger brother, but then he got big. So then he'd steal her shoes, or he'd take her purse, run down the street with it, with her in pursuit, and dump all the contents out. The new style of wood that is bulletproof. Wait, is this a dad joke? But in any case, Vegas, if you're not into gambling, has amazing food. And go to the Mafia Museum. The Mob Museum is absolutely... Oh, no, I had not heard about that, Neil. They have great sites. There's a bunch of museums and cool stuff. Now, you could do it very cheap. I mean, you want to go there and spend your mortgage payment, yeah, you can do that too. But so we started going. Now we're kind of traveling and doing little stops. So that's the beach video, was down in Corpus Christi, Texas, where the Corgis are running through the beach. We got married in Vegas. Oh, that's cool. Did you do it in one of the little chapels or in the casino or one of the big churches? Because Vegas has some old weird stuff too. Like after the mafia got run off, a lot of the old stuff got redone by the new investors, and so it's pretty cool. But yeah, in any case, folks, I'm surprised Vegas is, well, no, people don't have free money, so nobody's going there. And plus, school started, so the streets are going to be empty for sure. But yeah, there's signs that things are tight. Gas came down, chicken's down on price. Elvis, oh, that's cool. The little white chapel Elvis got married in. That's very cool. So yeah, we got a lot of a lot of prices have come down, some have not. So watch the pricing, watch the fuel, watch the energy, because energy goes up, other things follow. If energy crashes, other things should follow, but there's a delay in the pricing coming down, because you think even if gas becomes half the price now, the stuff they're selling in the store was made and manufactured at the cost of the higher price. It takes anywhere from 2 to 6 months for the price change to make it through the supply chain. So you remember, I made a video a while ago, I think in the end of 21, saying that oil and gas was going to spike because they were restricting energy, and that they were having issues with solar and wind logistics and whatnot, and that energy would take off, and then the cost of everything else would take off. And that was at the tail end of 21, early 22. We didn't see the inflation start to hit until 23. It took about 8 months from the time I did that to the time I said that. And it wasn't me being like clairvoyant. It's just historical patterns. It takes 6 to 8 months for stuff to go through. Pot roast is now $9.99 a pound in the DC. Is that a good price for over there? So we're down, we're like $1, $2, $1.50. It's not as low as it was pre-COVID, but eggs are not stupid anymore. And so, yeah, it's not as bad. Beef's down a little bit, so, but understand, and that's why I want to do some of these videos with some of these folks that are in our supply chain, the silver and gold folks, maybe get some of the trucking folks on videos where we can talk about this stuff, and it can be, hey, look, this is where, if this happens, trucking gets affected, and when trucking gets affected, then we get affected. And then we can listen, and when we hear those things in the news, we see them on social media, then we all know, wow, hold on a second. I saw this in that live stream, and the guy said, if this happens, this is going to go up in price, or this won't be available. And then you can decide how you want to react. And I think the more we as a community know about how everything's put together, not just the doom and gloom, like, oh no, riots, but like, where'd the riot come from? Well, there's no fuel. Where's no fuel? Well, because they blew up the pipeline somewhere, $17 for 5 dozen. Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, Jesus, it was less for sure back then. It definitely was. We never got back down. I don't think we ever will, but in any case, folks, look, I'm going to leave you with that one. It's a nice rainy day. I enjoy that. That's something I do miss, because it is very dry in this part of Texas normally. This has been an unusually wet year, which means we're going to have another freeze. It always happens when we have a wet summer and a wet fall. We get those freezes and snow and everything. And the company said I might be relocating next year, but that's unofficial and not for sure yet. So that should be interesting. So you got to watch a prepper relocate. That would be an interesting experience. But look, folks, be safe. Be careful out there. Remember that the human factor is very hard to predict. We can predict markets, and remember, even the markets get affected by human decisions. But understanding the bigger picture, understanding how these things come together. When you hear those words and you see these things happen, you know right then and there, wow, bam, that is going to cause this. So how do I deal with that second one, right? And the more we know about this, the more value it has to all of us and to our community. And I'll try and share what I can. You know, the Horsemen, we're always posting stuff. We always talk in the background. A lot of you, my mods, reach out to me. I reach out to y'all. But anyway, folks, be good, be safe out there. Learn everything you can while everything works. And remember, you want to be the person who's topping off or, you know, filling in gaps if something happens. You don't want to be the person who looks at an empty pantry and an empty fridge with kids in the house and goes, oh no, what do I do now? Because that's what happened during COVID. I do think the one good thing about COVID is a lot of people are better prepped now. Not all of them, but a lot of them are thinking about it now. And that's a good thing. Anyway, you guys be good, be safe. God bless you all. And pray for Charlie Kirk's wife, whether you like the man's politics or not. His babies saw that, and I saw that, and I didn't like it, and it was on a video. I can't fathom those poor college kids who were physically there and saw that, and those babies saw that. The daughter tried to run to her daddy, and the security guy in charge of the family grabbed the baby and grabbed mom and the other one and turned them around, and because his job was to protect them, regardless of what happened behind him. And he did a good job. They disappeared like that. But that's not the way we should be, not here. And all of us, everyone needs to do better. So be careful out there. People are acting out, and it's concerning. All we can do is be the best we can be every day. So God bless you all. You all take care, and learn everything you can while you can, because the more we know, the better off we are. Be safe.